Hi guys, welcome back to Train Simulator 2016, where we're going to try to finish off career mode on the Riviera Line. So today we're looking at busy day on the coast, so take the service down the coast to Paignton, but watch out for the signals, you'll be following a delayed service. Okay, so it looks like it's 4 orange bars of difficulty because we're going to potentially have yellow and red signals. So that's just loading now. You can see there one of the latest DLCs, BR Class 40. They're always bringing out new DLCs for Train Simulator, so there's plenty of stuff you can add on if you want. Different trains, different routes, all that sort of thing. And if you search online, I think you will find, perhaps on Wikipedia, it tells you how many scenarios are in the route packs, so you can say, well, that one's got a lot, I'll get that one. So there's the sea. Look at the way those waves move. They're so cool. Okay, beach, and hopefully a train. Yippee. There we go. So driver, today you'll be driving a 143 along the coast. Careful when you get to Newton Abbot, there's a delayed service that'll be running in front of you. Keep an eye out for red and yellow signals and be prepared to stop. Okay, so open the doors, put the reverser into forward. I'm just going to put the brakes on step 1 so that the train doesn't move whilst people are getting on. Hopefully people are getting on. Are you getting on? Yes, she got on. You notice they don't actually get on, they despawn next to the train, but she got on. She's going to get on as well, I think. Oh, 2 or 3, my word. It's all ladies getting on our train. Not that I'm complaining, but it's all ladies. Anyway, let's get ready to go. So keeping up with the timetable could be difficult if we're going to run into these red signals and such like. There are 6 stops in total. We're heading for Tamworth now. So let's get going. We're in a 60-mile-an-hour limit. Ice cream still there. Stop for an ice cream. It's a beautiful day for an ice cream. Nice and blue sky. Probably quite warm out there. So let's get going. It looks like we're going through tunnels, through the rocks. If I remember rightly, there's several of these tunnels. Boat house or something there. That's to do boat repairs. So we're running down the coast, so it should be a nice journey alongside the beautiful South Devon coastline. Known as the English Riviera, it's such a beautiful area of the country. Lovely scenery. A lot of people holiday here if they don't go abroad. It's a very popular area in the UK because it is so pretty, really. So that signal's on green, as you heard that single tone. And we're coming towards the 75, then back down to 60, and then we're going to be stopping at Tamworth anyway, so don't think we're going to reach 75 by any means. We'll probably sort of keep the speed around the 60-mile-an-hour mark, which is reached now. So if we sort of keep it around there, that'll be fine for the next 60-mile-an-hour limit that's coming up, and also ready for us to slow down at Tamworth Platform 1. So we're in the 75-mile-an-hour limit, but I don't think we need to worry about that really. In terms of time, looks like we're going to be about 14 seconds late. I can live with that. But one does wonder if we start getting red signals further down the line, that could blow the timetable completely. But we'll see. Okay, so another green signal there. we're going to start slowing for Tamworth now. Train coming the other way. Hello. Okay, so we'll start applying the brakes gently. Remember, your brakes have 4 settings: step 1, step 2, full service, and then emergency. Emergency you don't want to be using. Lose lots and lots of points very quickly if your emergency brake is on. So if you don't acknowledge a yellow or red signal quickly enough, the emergency brakes will come on, your train will run to a halt, you lose lots and lots of points and also time, because you've then got to start back up and get going again. So that's definitely to be avoided. Which is why if I see that a signal in front of me is anything other than green, I sort of hover over the exclamation mark ready to acknowledge it. So I'm just going to run in and stop somewhere around this bridge, so that if people have come across, there's some stairs there, so if people come across to this platform, we'll stop somewhere near where they would join the platform and they can get straight on, hopefully. Have a quick look. Nobody around much. Inside. Hello, good afternoon. Are we well? Chatty bunch. There's us driving the train. Okay, we'll go back to the inside view, ready to be on our way very shortly. Okay, so it says timeliness penalty plus 184. So it's not a penalty, it's a bonus, but it says penalty. It's green, I think if it's a penalty it comes up red. So I'm called white. I'm not quite sure why it says penalty, but there you go. So we're in a 60 mile an hour limit now, and there's an 80 mile an hour limit coming up. This scenario is 4 orange bars of difficulty, so I'm sure we are going to have problems at some point. We're 5 miles from Newton Abbot, where apparently we're supposed to catch up with this delayed service in front of us. And don't forget you can zoom in the display so that you can get a view of the signal a bit earlier and check if it is indeed red or whatever. Which I suppose a real train driver can't do. Pretty area, houses to the right, beach to the left, and us going straight down the middle. See some boats now. Green signal still, single tone from the TPWS. Train protection warning system. If you don't acknowledge a yellow or red signal, as I said, the emergency brakes come on because the system sort of thinks, oh, I wonder what's happened to the driver. Is he fallen asleep, or is he not well, or whatever? He's not reacting to the things he needs to acknowledge, so therefore it slams the emergency brakes on so that your train comes to a halt and doesn't cause an accident. You do have a reasonable bit of time, 30 seconds or so probably, to click that when it lights. I mean, that's plenty of time, to be fair. There should be no reason to get the emergency brakes coming on. Should be perfectly capable of acknowledging the signals, especially if we do zoom in and see what the next signal is, then we can be prepared anyway if it's going to be anything other than green. So there's a 60 mile an hour limit coming up again in a little while, 1 3/4 miles away at the moment. That scrolling display is very useful. I mean, you can turn it off, I think. Does it? You have to have that on. But I find it very useful. I always run the simulator with that showing. As I say, I do think there's an option somewhere to turn it off. Currently we're due to be absolutely dead on time when we get to the far end of this run in Newton Abbot. It's now 2.5 miles away. And it looks like we have a yellow signal coming up, so I'm going to be poised, ready to acknowledge when we get the warning for that. There. Okay. And I'm going to start slowing a little bit so that we get down for this 60 mile an hour limit, which that warning will be for. There's a warning board here saying 60. So as well as seeing it on the scrolling display, you'll get warnings when the speed limit is reducing, and you'll see those warning boards at the side of the track. Should be another one coming up, so we're going to be going down into a 40 mile an hour limit soon. I'm going to start slowing down because I think that last signal was on, was it single yellow, which means this one could be red? Or it might have been double yellow, which means this one could be single yellow, but we'll see. But we're not far from the signal, so yeah, it looks like it's yellow. It'll be okay to continue going through there. 60 mile an hour limit now. Coming up on a 40. It's in fact double yellow, so next one could be single yellow, one after that could be red, shortly before Newton Abbot. So we are going to need to be prepared to slow down and possibly stop if it is red. With a bit of luck, whatever's in that block has gone through by the time we get there, and it won't be red at all, but we'll see. So the signalling system basically works on blocks. So the next block will be after this signal here. So this signal is yellow. So this next block is between that signal and the one after, and the single yellow on this one indicates the next one could well be red. So that's the signalling system on this particular route. When you play some of the other scenarios, particularly the Donner Path stuff like that, it's a totally different signalling system. So I recommend having a look in the academy to find out how they work before you play it. Signal is indeed red, so I'm slowing down. There we go, acknowledge the fact that we know the signal is red. And it's changed to yellow with the bar above lit pointing left, so we're changing track to the left. So this will get us into Newton Abbot, and then the other side, one assumes, is this delayed service in front of us. How much of a problem we have with red signals will depend on how much we catch up with that service. If we're far enough back, then we'll only probably get yellow signals, but if we catch up with it, then obviously we'll start getting red. So we're about 6 seconds late, which is obviously nothing, so we're not worried about that. So I'm going to try and stop around about the middle of the platform, so many of these stairs, so that people can get on. So they come across the bridge and down the stairs. We're nice and close to that, so they can just hop on. We also need the information boards. People may be there checking what they need to do, which train they need to get or whatever. So there you can see the stairs. They go up and over to the platform the other side. Platform 2 no doubt, this being platform 1. We haven't opened the doors. Why are the doors not opened? There we go. I thought I opened the doors, but maybe I didn't. Right, so that guy further down the platform is now walking up and going to get on the train. Maybe I didn't click the button to open the doors then. I thought I had. Excuse me, still suffering with a slight cough. Right, 1 or 2 people getting on. We've got a yellow signal and going left again onto another track to the left, so a pretty reasonable bonus, 167, so that's not bad. It actually said timeless bonus this time, not timeless penalty, so it's now decided it is a bonus, which it certainly is. Our score's up to 498, which isn't bad. That's acknowledging the yellow signal in front of us. As I say, we're going left again onto another track to the left by the look of things. So it's a very efficient signalling system. And drivers know from one signal what they expect the next one to be on, which is, I'd imagine, a very efficient way to do things. So if there's any particular routes or trains that you'd like to see, please feel free to add a comment and let me know. And obviously like and subscribe. But if maybe you want to see steam trains or something, I don't know. But whatever it is, we can do our best. See what we can do. Just tipped over 41 there, so I've just slowed a little bit. We were technically speeding for a very few seconds or two. Right, it's 45 limit now, so let's accelerate up. Ooh, red light. A red signal. Are we going to stop in time now? That's the question. Hopefully we are. Without the emergency brakes coming on, I think we're going to be alright. So unless it changes very soon before we get there, we are going to be stopping at this red signal. Which seems to be what the scenario is all about. So maybe we have caught up with the delayed service in front, not sure. So we're coming to a stop. This signal is slightly different, it only has red and green lights on it. So it's basically just stop or go, so it doesn't tell you much about the next signal, unfortunately. Having said they do, this one doesn't, but goes green, we can get going and then see what the next signal is doing when we get there. There's obviously something in this block in front of us, so we'll wait for him to go through. So next stop is Torre, or Torre, not quite sure. I think I'll call it Torre. It's 4 miles away, a little bit over 4 miles away. Signal's gone green, let's get going. So I'm not sure how that one's pronounced, but I'll go for Torre, why not? So let's see if we can get there without any other signal problems. Beautiful day, lovely blue sky, white broken clouds, so I wouldn't expect we're going to get any rain, so it looks like a lovely day. £45-mile-an-hour limit, going to a 60 shortly, so we need to make sure we don't go over the 45 until we reach that 60-mile-an-hour limit. Do our best to, keep up with the timetable as much as we can, but if we do come across red signals, I think our timetable will get blown to hell, basically, but there you go. We can't do anything about that. We can only do the best we can. We're doing okay so far, and by the look of it, we're going to be 1 second early at the moment. So we're on time, basically. Given the likely problems of the scenario is not too bad, let's hope it stays that way. Still over 3 miles to go to Torre. If anybody knows how that is supposed to be pronounced, do let us know. But I don't know it, so I'm calling it Torre. Lovely scenery. Trees, cars, houses, bit of everything there. I think the scenery in Train Simulator 2016 is really, really good. What is perhaps not quite so good is there are not many characters in terms of the passengers, so you tend to see the same person dressed exactly the same over and over again. They don't seem to dress for the weather, so it could be snowing outside and they'll still be walking around in t-shirts and so on. And they seem to sort of spawn and despawn in some very strange places sometimes. You don't actually see them get on the train, they just despawn as they get near it. And sometimes they don't spawn coming out of doors or stairways or whatever, they come out of the weirdest places you can imagine. They suddenly just appear. But there you go. Those are fairly minor things. I mean, the key thing is driving the train, that's what matters. And we can certainly drive a train and admire beautiful scenery, so I'm getting ready to acknowledge that. And that signal is on single yellow. That'll be a warning for lower speed limit, so we need to slow down to 45 anyway. But the next signal could be red because that one was single yellow, so we'll need to see what this signal is on. We're going uphill, but we're getting very close to the top of the hill now when we'll start running downhill into Torre, so we'll need to keep an eye on our speed because we will pick up speed when we start going downhill. Newton's law of gravity and all that. So can we see this signal yet? I can't see it yet. So there's another lower speed coming up, 30. I'm not sure if that applies to our line or not, but we'll see. Where is this signal? So I've zoomed in the display to try and get an idea what this signal is on, and it's red. So I'll put the brakes on and slow down. Nice if it changed before we got to it. It didn't look likely. Oh yes, it has changed. There we go, look at that. Perfect timing. So the next signal is just beyond Torre Station, so we should be able to run straight into Torre now without any further issues. Let's try and get a bit of speed up and get nearer this 45-mile-an-hour limit. In terms of time, we're pretty much bang on time. 2 seconds late, I believe, so... And there is a 30-mile-an-hour limit just before the station, so we're going to need to slow for that before we actually get to Torre, and it is downhill. So I'm going to let it idle because it will continue to pick up speed anyway. And then we're going to apply the brakes shortly to make sure we're not speeding when we enter that 30-mile-an-hour limit. So let's do that and just get our speed down. Don't want to be over cautious and brake too early, but at the same time don't want to lose loads of points for speeding, or even worse, emergency brakes coming on if we don't acknowledge a signal or something. So we're coming down to the 30 now, so we should be fine. We are still going downhill, so we're still picking up speed naturally, if you like, but not so much that we can't just keep ourselves balanced. And the Torquay platform one is very close, so the next section is a very short one, so we won't be getting up to much speed in that area, certainly. Right, so let's apply the brakes now. We're at the platform. Stop somewhere near the bridge. That'll be fine. Open the doors. Let's have a look, see if there's anybody about. No, not really, doesn't look like it. Then, as I say, somebody might spawn straight out of a wall or something in a second, because it does do some strange things like that. But as I said, the point is to be able to drive trains, and you certainly can drive trains and follow different routes and all that sort of thing, which is all to the good. So minor things like passengers spawning from strange places is, I say a minor thing, but to do more characters in the passengers, because sometimes all you'll see is the same person effectively over and over again. There are different ones on the other platform at the moment, but sometimes you will just see what's effectively the same character over and over again, unless they're all twins and triplets and quadruplets or whatever, which I doubt. So, double yellow signal in front of us, so that's not going to be a problem, because we're going to be stopping at the next platform anyway, which is only a very short distance away, 0.87 miles. Single yellow rather. I thought it was double yellow, but it's single yellow. We'll change to red when we go through it, because that stops anybody else coming in the block while we're in there. So we're going to 40 mile an hour limit, and then it's downhill into Torquay platform 1. Torquay's a very pretty area too. So I'm going to let it idle again now, because again we'll pick up speed anyway, because we're going downhill, 1 in 56 gradient. And then we need to start braking anyway, because we're fast going to be approaching Torquay platform 1. I suppose another thing that would be nice to hear in the game would be passenger announcements, like, the next stop is Torquay platform 1, and so on and so on. That would be quite nice. There is one scenario where we heard security announcements and stuff. Can't remember which one it was. Might have been the 801, Stevenage, London sort of. There was certainly one of them that did it anyway. So, I suppose the other thing would be the station announcements, like the train at platform 1 is the blah 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 to wherever. That would also be quite nice to hear. If anybody from the developers is listening, might be ideas worth thinking about. I'm sure it's not impossible to do. So I'm going to run through and sort of stop round about the middle of the platform down here. That's near the telephone boxes, because I think that's the entrance where people come onto the platform. So we'll sort of stop around here somewhere. That guy in front of us will probably walk down a little bit. Sorry mate, you're going to have to walk a bit if you want this train. He's marching down the platform very purposefully. You're going to hop on? Yep, there you go. He despawned just as he got to the train, so they don't actually get on the train as such. I see the scrolling displays on the clock there, that's very good. Very realistic for a modern station, I would say. Is this guy getting on? Come on mate, get a wiggle on, because we're going. So I don't know whether he got on or not, but he was pushing his luck. He was very close to the time for us to leave if he did want this train. So Paynton is next, only a couple of miles away, and that's our final stop. We have at the moment got a yellow signal, so the potential is that the next one could well be red, with this delayed service in front of us. It's going to be a little bit uphill in a minute, so we'll be able to regulate our speed quite well. So 40 mile an hour limit, which we're fast coming up on, so let's let it idle a little bit until we can check what this signal is on. Zooming in isn't really helping at the minute. Can't see the signal yet. So We'll go a bit further and keep an eye open for it. See if we need to be stopping. Hopefully not. Still can't see it yet. There's another bend in the track coming up here, so we're not going to see it until we get round there. So I'll give it a little bit of acceleration because we are slowing down because of this uphill section anyway. Try and keep us as near timetable as I can. Subject to what this signal is on. It looks like it's on red to me. Yep. Acknowledge that. Oh, it's changed to yellow, look. That's good news. On we go. So being able to zoom the view like that is really useful. I know perhaps real train drivers can't do that, so it's not that realistic, but they may get messages in their ear from a signalman or something telling them what's going on, which I don't get, so maybe that's that, I don't know. Any train drivers out there want to tell us? But generally I think the simulation is really good. I mean, I do like this a lot. So that was for the 15 mile an hour warning sign, I think. I need to keep an eye open for the next signal. A lot depends on how close to this delayed service we are. If we're quite close behind him, it'll be red. If he's a bit further in front of us, then it could be yellow. We're speeding slightly. I'm not speeding now, so go away. Thank you. Right, so we lost 8 points there. So in terms of medals, I doubt we're going to get gold, but a silver on a scenario like this would not be bad. Bearing in mind the signal issues that have existed. So I'm now slowing down for the 15 mile an hour limit, and it looks like we have a red signal as well, so let's make sure we slow up for that. So it looks like we may well have caught up with the delayed service which is running in front of us, because he's obviously in this next block. This of course is in the platform, in which case we're just waiting for him to go out of the platform and then we'll be able to continue through. Can't see a train in the platform, but then it bends a little bit up there, so he could be sitting on the platform at the moment. Yellow, so that means he's probably, well, he has gone through the next signal, so he's left the platform and gone through. Trying to keep our speed under control because we're in a 15 mile an hour limit now, so I don't want to be going above 16. You've got 15.9 and you're fine. So our final stop. So it wasn't too bad. I don't think it was 4 orange bars, so I suppose that's not too bad. I mean, you know, get 5 red bars on the difficulty, that's going to be a real toughie. But here we go, we're here, so we'll let our passengers off here. So don't get off, one can only assume that lady's getting on, so one can only assume somebody else is taking this train further down the line. We're not. So we'll wait for our debrief now. Interestingly, the front of the train says Paignton, so that means Paignton is its last stop. That's where we are, and yet people are still getting on, so they must be expecting it to go somewhere else. We early getting here? Yes, I think we were early. It's taken quite a long time for the red icon to move across towards the clock, so I think we were actually early here. Which is amazing considering the scenario and the fact that it's built around delays on signals. We got here a minute early by the look of it. So, excuse me. So yeah, that's good. Hopefully that was not too much of a stressful run for you. You made good time despite being stuck behind a delayed service. Well done. Okay. Oh, gold medal, look at that. Yippee, gold star. So that's that one done, guys, and next time we'll finish off the last one on the Riviera Line in career mode.